是中国领先的游戏媒体，创立于2018年，致力于为全世界的中文游戏玩家提供专业、精准、迅速的资讯情报。篝火营地立足于中国，与多家国际一流游戏媒体同行达成正式内容合作关系，源源不断地将最新鲜的游戏资讯第一时间带给全球中文游戏玩家。自成立以来，篝火营地在全网的内容浏览量已经超过5亿，服务了数百万的读者和玩家。我们的愿景是做游戏文化传播者。您可以在全球各大手机应用市场下载篝火营地 APP， 或者访问3w.gamebonfire.com 来加入游戏传播者。
Okay, right now I'm at work. I can't see y'all at the moment.
As a part of
But
Play4,
Take-Two Interactive,
GameSpot will be
remember to
bringing
be
you the
next.
latest gaming news and announcements, interviews with developers, the biggest press conferences, and lots more. Play4All is our yearly online event that combines the excitement and announcements of E3 with charity live streams the following week, with lots of special guests who are going to help us raise money for able gamers. So join us in June for E3 and Play4All on GameSpot.com, YouTube.com/GameSpot, Twitch.tv/GameSpot, and as a part of E3's official broadcast. See you then.
I remember this one time I was at E3 on sitting there for lunch, and we were just sitting there eating, and then we talked business, then we started talking games. I remember talking about Assassin's Creed, and I was saying how I snuck in the room, I climbed on the wall, then I jumped down, I took the knife and I stabbed the person in the back. I looked over to my left and I saw these people talk, they were talking, then they stopped listening, like, oh my God, what is he talking about? He just talking about killing somebody? I said, it's a video game. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, man, these people thought I killed somebody. They thought I was a hitman. I was like, oh, this is too funny.
Thanks to our sponsors at DoorDash. Get more from your neighborhood, from restaurants and convenience to grocery and corner stores. All right, folks. Well, we are back here at E3 2021. And, here's the truth, guys. Sometimes the most difficult discussions, are the ones that you need to have the most. And with the gaming community already being such a diverse place, it's time for the creative space to reflect that. So here's Take-Two with an important discussion on the necessity of diversity.
It gotta be 2K and GTA. That's all we're worried about.
And
2K and GTA is all we're worried about. That's it. We don't care about anything else. So they better come up with some heat. Or Red Dead Redemption 3. Either of those three would be fine. Take-Two, what you got?
Hello, I'm Alan Lewis, Vice President of Corporate Communications and Public Affairs for Take-Two Interactive. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to Virtual E3 2021. Take-Two, like many organizations, is deeply committed to and actively involved in numerous initiatives to enhance diversity, equity, and inclusion within our society and industry. Affecting meaningful, sustainable change is a continuous process, and there is no one solution that can achieve that goal. We believe that to enact change, especially for those in underserved and underrepresented communities, there needs to be a continuum of activism and engagement with educational programs serving as its core foundation. Beginning with children in elementary school, we have the ability to light a spark of creativity, intellectual curiosity, and wonder that can last a lifetime. Continuing through middle and high school, we can support and nurture students during their formative years and increase the depth of their skills that can provide a pathway to attending one of the 400 plus colleges and universities within the United States that offer degrees in game design. Providing opportunities to attend these academic institutions, including need-based financial support, is also a critical component to helping end generational cycles of inequality. And while pursuing their creative and technical degrees, students can learn firsthand from industry leaders that share their experience, acumen, and passion through one-on-one mentoring and internships at our organization. Together, if our industry can execute this continuum, we will have invested meaningfully in the lives of the youth from these communities for more than a decade before they begin their professional journey. Diversity and inclusion make us a better industry for today and most importantly, for tomorrow. It allows us to make better entertainment experiences that are authentic, culturally relevant, and reflective of the audiences that enjoy them. Today, we have brought together a few of our important partners who will share their organization's mission and role in this endeavor, as well as their insights on how we as an industry can continue to take these important steps together for the future.
Yeah.
We hope that you find their work as inspiring as we do. It is now my pleasure to turn things over to my colleague, Tony Lagans, Director of Diversity and Inclusion for 2K, who will be the moderator for today's discussion.
Thanks, Alan. It's my pleasure to be your moderator for today's session. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce my esteemed panelists today. We're going to start off with Jim Huntley. Jim Huntley is currently the professor and head of marketing at USC. Jim is a faculty advisor, and he's an executive producer for USC Games Expo and a co-founding partner of Path U Gaming. Next, we have Susanna Pollock. Susanna is the president of Games for Change, which is a nonprofit that empowers game creators and social innovators to drive real-world impact through games and immersive media. Next to Susanna, we have Gordon Bellamy. Gordon is a professor of practice of cinematographic arts at USC. He is also the head of USC Bridge Incubator, which is a program that helps to cultivate the next generation of leaders in the video game industry. And last, next to Gordon, we have Layla Shabir. Layla is the founder of Girls Make Games, which offers a series of summer camps, workshops, and game jams designed to inspire the next generation of designers, creators, and engineers. Welcome to all of you, great panelists, and thank you so much for joining our important discussion today. Now, I'd like to dive right in here, and Jim, I'm going to start with you. In Alan's opening, he mentioned something that was so important, and it was really just talking about the increasing role that diversity, equity, and inclusion it is playing in the video game industry today. So before we get into the big concepts that we're talking about here, let's just break some things down for our viewers. Jim, can you help us understand and talk about equity and diversity and why it's so important in the conversation about the video game industry today?
Absolutely. Equity and diversity has been a challenge for the gaming industry since its inception. It hasn't really changed very, very much over time. But I think the biggest change that people are seeing in the last 2 to 3 years are the lack of it in the modern era, and the rationale that there's no excuse behind not having
just
better
went
equity and diversity
all the way
in the industry from here on out. So what I like about working with companies like Take-Two and some other companies that have reached out to me,
someone need to wake up.
An initiative we started called the Gerald A. Lawson Endowment Fund is that companies are now looking to invest in getting more diversity in their ranks and getting more stories told from different points of view.
I appreciate that. That's great conversation there. So let's talk about just kind of the inequities and why is it so important to have these conversations, talk about that whole aspect and just getting people in the right mindset to understand what's available for them as majors in this industry. Jim, just talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So a lot of what we've been focusing on from a USC Games perspective is making sure that students of color, Black and Indigenous students in particular, because they have the least amount of representation within our industry out of all the various demographic groups. We've been focusing on scholarships, but the challenge that we have, and I think the challenge that society and the industry has, is it starts earlier than that. There's a phrase from, I can't remember who to attribute to, but there's a phrase that he used that I remember saying, the inequities of our past pay dividends into the future. And that sticks with me because the reality is if you don't have a great opportunity or access to computer science labs and specialized education in grade school and high school and junior high school, the odds of you having a great portfolio piece when it comes time to apply to a program like ours puts you at a deficit. And if that deficit keeps rolling on into the future, generation after generation, the gap between the ability to get into some of these slots in game design and not being able to get them gets wider and wider. So we need to do a better job as a society, and we are willing to do our part and help work with companies like Take-Two to lead the vanguard on how do we get students some opportunity from grade school? Like, how do we make sure they can see this as an option? Because when
Yada, yada, yada. Get to the
in
games.
front of a small group of grade school students, and I say I work in the video game industry, you can see the eyes just their minds explode because they've never seen anyone like me and the videos they see on YouTube or other visitors to their classes, to their seminars. So it's important to show that we have presence here, but it's also important to make sure that the students who look like us, who are 20 years, 30 years, 40 years behind us, also have the opportunities that we didn't in some cases to get a job in this industry.
Yes, thank you so much for your insight. So important there. Susanna, that really kind of speaks to a lot of the great work that you're doing in helping to reach this underserved community. Can you talk about the work that Games for Change is doing?
Sure. So, our mission, as you said earlier, is to empower game designers and social innovators, right? To use games for social change. And we see our work with younger people as really inspiring the next generation, right? And so just what Jim was saying, like we're going as young as sixth grade, sometimes fifth grade, but trying to give young people, and mostly in Title I schools, so those are schools that qualify for free lunches, which often are representing the underserved communities, an opportunity to dive in deeply into this gaming industry, this experience they all love to do, and help them become creators of this content, not just consumers.
Yeah, that's
And
just
we've been
exact
finding
amount.
that the program that we've been running, called the Games for Change Student Challenge, we've been running it for the past 6 years. We've reached over 30,000 young people in middle and high school. And we not only give them an opportunity to learn how to make games, but we also combine that with civic engagement. So they have to think about how games can help make their communities better. So right from the start, we want to empower them to think about this really important medium, not only as something they love to do, but they actually can make. They're learning important 21st century and STEM skills that can help them regardless of what career path. But what we really hope to see happen is that they see a future for themselves and they see an opportunity, a pathway for them. And part of our program, an important part of it, is this idea of mentoring, and mentoring from near peers and also from people from the community. So as Jim said, it's so important they see themselves in the people that are coming to speak to them. So when we're in Los Angeles, for example, we can reach out to USC Games for game design students to come and speak to the kids, that we can bring people in from Riot or Activision or from Take-Two to come in and say, yes, this is what I do, and this is something for you. And we do the same thing in New York and working in Atlanta and Detroit. And I can tell you that students are coming back year on year, and we're seeing them use this program as like their college essay, or they're building their portfolio. And I love the idea that, if we can get to them at a young age, they spend their summers with Layla at Girls Make Games, and then they can go on and apply to college, and we were talking about this pipeline or this pathway for them. And so that's that role and what we hope to inspire.
I love what you said there, Suzanne. There's so many little nuggets that you just pulled out there. The different avenues you can have and career
That's how I'm at work right
there
now,
are in the
so-
gaming industry.
So
Just
give
the
me a moment if I'm
activity
not
that you
talking,
can
if
have
I'm
in
quiet.
terms of having mentorship and role models,
Just enjoy
and
the stream.
representation.
Right now, I'm
And
just in the middle of
having
work.
good gamers out there. So there's so many things that you talked about that I want to hit on. Let's just pull Layla into this conversation and just talk about the idea of mentorship and representation. Layla, talk about the workshops and the summer programs that you offer to girls. How does that help to increase the representation and the mentorship aspects that we've talked about?
Thanks so much for having me. I was on mute. This is 2021, still going on mute. But like Susanna said, I think it's really important to kind of pass that baton on. And I think we see this summer after summer, having created a place that's, for girls. We get this question a lot. Why do you need a space that's just for girls? There's so many programs out there that are open to everyone. But I think it's just so important to create that space because, like Jim talked about, it's so important to see people who are like yourselves. For many of the girls that come to camp, this is their first time walking into a room full of girls who love video games. They've been so accustomed to kind of being the only girl on their robotics team, or the only girl that went to a coding camp with their brother, and the girl who's fighting her brothers for the Xbox controller. So those are very common themes and stories, and I think it's important to kind of tie in not just the mentorship, but also the community. It's very important to walk into a room and feel like you're not an outsider, and the best way to do that is to show many more faces that look just like you. It's really validating to walk away, not just with the technical skills, but to feel like these are people that I'm going to, kind of encounter in 10, 15 years, and we'll be like professionals, because right now we're just kids making games, but we'll be professionals in a few years. And 7 years out for Girls Make Games, we're finally starting to see, these girls kind of make plans together to go to college. And this year, I would say, like, the first time we got in like dozens of emails from families saying, my daughter is now thinking of college, and how do we get this portfolio going? How do we set that up? So I think, touching on Jim's point too, there's so many challenges that, people have to go through just to get everything right. You shouldn't have to rely on luck so much. So if you look at the women who are now excelling and thriving in the industry, and you ask them their stories, so many things had to go right in their lives to finally end up in the industry. Many of whom ended up there accidentally, like me and even Tony. I think Tony and I touched on that earlier. But it shouldn't have to be luck or accident. We can actually intentionally
Right now, they're
create these
just
pipelines.
talking.
And I think it
What about
requires
the
all of us working
games?
together, like everyone in this room, talking about what we're doing and how do we pass our students on from, we start as young as 8, getting them onto the programs and then passing them on to the student challenge and then on to USC and then finally on to the industry. I think that's basically the magic formula to solving the problem that we're talking about today.
Yes, thank you for hitting on that pipeline challenge and
Oh my
actually
God, if
solution.
Nintendo carries
You really
E3,
clearly laid it out
then
there
it's over
for us.
with.
I really, really enjoy that. And something else you mentioned is just like really opening this world.
Pretty sure
of
Reggie
games
and
to a
Sakurai
new,
is
diverse,
already a shutdown.
a full and a spectrum
Just
of
Reggie
gamers.
is there
And
just
how do we
to
create those
appear.
real pathways back into the gaming
Are you sure
industry?
Sakurai is
Gordy,
already
you've done a lot of
GG's?
work in just helping to create value where value was not seen in places in the gaming industry, specifically for the gay gaming professionals. Can you talk about how the representation and widening the spectrum of what gaming professional looks like and how your company and your role really accomplishes that?
Sure. So we have a mission which is focused on education, employment, expertise, and entrepreneurship. And the reason why is because alongside diversity and equity inclusion, there's a new word that's come up a lot, which is belonging, right? A feeling of belonging, of being
Don't guarantee what
default.
might happen.
And I know that people in their uniqueness do a lot of mental, socioeconomic, and sometimes social gymnastics before they get to be as good as they are, before they get a chance to participate in this panel or participate in our industry by and large. And I think the work that we all share is trying to disrupt some of those mental gymnastics, socioeconomic gymnastics, social gymnastics that young women, people of color, indigenous people, neurodiverse people need to do in order to be as great as they are, to belong, in the space. And sort of hearing, what Layla's speaking to.
I like the diversity of
cohort, right?
other
that
people
treats
when
each
it
other
comes
as the whole.
to
Where are
different
we gonna
diversity
go
and
now
everything.
together,
That's
collectively?
great.
The program, Jim's
But
putting in place.
we're
right?
here for the games.
Endowment honoring Lawson, where there's going to be
That's
cohorts
great.
of Black and Indigenous people, right, growing together. And the
Hey,
work
what's
that
up,
Susanna,
Scar?
you've been doing
What's good with
before
you?
It was cool. Okay, you've been changing games, making that dollar out of 15 cents before all of us.
Right now I'm at
all
work,
of
so I'm
that
doing 2 and 1.
work,
I'm listening to the lesson that they're giving
and
us
with
at
the
the same
support of
time. I'm
corporations like
watching
Take-Two,
E3 on my other
right,
computer.
is enabling us to
And right
move
now, it's just
a generation forward. Specifically with
it's
GGP,
they're
we
talking
have a
this and
scholar
that, but
program
where are
in
the
partnership with
games?
Take-Two. Some go to USC,
I had no time to listen
many
to
go on
them
participate
because
in
I'm
Games for
listening
Change,
at my
and
job.
many have been girls who made games. And that's where we find ourselves intersecting, is at that college point of how do we take towards professionalization, and then we hope to carry them through into employment into being experts, right? Because that's the real challenge when you're trying to discover people. You don't want just to be entering. You want experts, right? And if things are going to really change, like this discussion, you need owners, right? Layla, owner. Susanna, owner. Jim, owner. All of you, owners of facets of your business, right? That
Usually
is
every other
where we
console,
become
every
the
other
batter, not
consoles
the
in
frosting,
E3,
right?
they at least they're
Where
presenting
the
their
game is,
games.
more than
They're
we
presenting
count,
games
2%,
here and there.
3%, 1%.
Like there'll be some
We aren't
talking
even the ones
a
counting,
little bit, but
right?
they're
We're
still presenting
being
games.
counted,
They're
right?
just Zoom
Until we're
calling and
doing
talking.
the counting, nothing has changed, right? I don't need to ask how many young ladies are in Girls Make Games. You're like, all of them, right? What is the gender balance of Games for Change? I didn't know all of it, right?
And yet we don't
These
care.
sort of
We're
systemic
worrying
changes,
about
like
where's the
that's-
games.
That is the work I think we all
And
share.
yet
That's why
we
all
still-
make time today.
They're still
right?
not showing.
I've been to every E3. I was a booth boy when I started, and I'm still here, right? 25, 26 years later.
Like, we
Haven't
don't-
missed one yet.
We don't hate
So,
homosexuals. We don't
I
hate
hope that someone out there
hate
sees
this and that. It
and
just
begins
they're
their
talking way
path,
too much when they should show the
right?
presentation.
And this is additive. That's why we're all here.
I appreciate
Oh, no.
that. Yes, exactly what
Oh,
you're
no.
saying. There's so much more that
No,
all of us
no,
can
no,
be
no,
doing.
no, no,
The
no,
accountability piece
no.
is really very important.
I just
Lauren,
read your
and thank you for
comment.
bringing that up. I just
No.
want to lay this out there to all our panelists.
Don't put
What
Doki
can
Doki Literature Club
corporations do
in
to
that
really set
platform.
themselves
No,
up for
no, no,
success in
no.
the near future and grabbing
No.
this new talent, this talent out
That
there
is
that
a
we need to
huge
capture
no.
to help us build better, more relevant, engaging video games? What can corporations do?
So I was
Nintendo's
thinking
gonna
about
shut
this
everything
in
down
particular
of
as,
their money.
As Gordon was
Everything
talking
else
about
gonna be irrelevant
scholarships
afterward.
that he puts forward. So having organizations, companies like Take
And I'm ready
Two
for it.
have a
Plus, I'm playing more
pretty
Nintendo games in the
visible
future,
to young
so
people, not just because they're buying.
I'm gonna make me a
They're
list.
downloading the games off of off of Xbox or PlayStation, but because they're there in front from the beginning. And so Take Two has been part
I
of our
know that.
challenge
I'm talking
since the
about
beginning, offering
the
scholarships
Nintendo.
to our grand
They
prize
come
winners.
the
And I can
Nintendo
tell you
presentation
that
coming
that's
out
a
tomorrow,
motivator
and it's a
for
5
kids to
hour
participate,
event tomorrow.
not just because
So
there's
they're
a
gonna bring out
scholarship
a
at the end,
lot
but just because Take
more
Two
than
is
just
part of
Doki
it.
Doki
Like, it made
Literature
us
Club.
cool,
But
right?
just that
And I think
alone is like, oh
that
fuck no,
relationship at that young of an age, that
no,
that,
no, no,
that
no.
makes a connection for people. Is like, yeah, they want.
So I
hear
want
what
to see
have
what they're
say,
gonna do for the
right?
rest of the
Like,
5
they're
hours
here because
that they will have.
this program exists and because I'm interested in
Yeah,
doing
how long
it.
is the
And I
event?
think that
How long
kind
is
of
this event?
relationship with these kids,
This is my
whether
question.
they're mentoring and coming into a classroom, they're volunteering at a game jam.
Yeah, I heard about
judging
Mario
games
Golf.
at the end of the competition. They're
That's a nice
involved,
little
and I think
game to
that
play.
plays it really
Oh, let me
has an
see how
impact
long
on young
is
kids'
there.
lives.
Take Two Interactive.
I love that.
I just want to add to what Suzanne's saying. I think
They're
that,
less than an hour.
something that- I mean,
They're
we talked
wasting
about
time.
Take-Two, and thank you for having us. Is making the success of Black people, of women, of queer people, of indigenous people, neurodiverse people, a business goal. Plain and simple. The same way that the consumption, right, of content, right, get some downloadable skins, buy some NBA 2K,
Okay, they're wasting time,
right?
and they had
That's
all
a
this time to
business
talk
goal
about this, now, and the other,
around which the
but
business
they're
aligns.
wasting
And I feel as
time.
though if the expertise
When they
of
can use that
women,
time to actually present
Black people,
the games.
neurodiverse, other populations was a business goal, then that would be the change. It'd be that simple. Like, oh, our business is more successful if there is more of this, right? And that's about people being of value versus just being valuable, which are two different things. There's lots of exceptional people, right, who are of value in spite of their circumstances. They're valuable, right? There's a difference between saying you're of value and that's a business goal in itself. And I think that's the corporate, that's the real change. Because it used to be, I mean, just real talk, it used to be about exceptionalism, right? And be like, oh, you're able to thrive under this duress, right? Isn't that cool? Versus, right, you are actually who we are, so we are going to cultivate you. That's who we are year round. That's what we look like, what we sound like.
So basically,
right?
it's already
Who
been
we are.
13 minutes.
Right? And so
It's been 13 minutes of just
who's
them
more towards
talking.
That, right?
Which they could have
The
just
same
present
way,
bunches of
I
games.
have biases. I attended Harvard College, so I'm of value, right? There's value in that, right? I'm treated
Yes,
that way in
I agree.
some circles. If the same
Scar, I
lens
agree.
was
Like,
put onto women, onto brown people,
chit chat
black
can come
people,
later
queer
after
people,
the gaming,
then
or in between the games where you're trying to
there'd be
present the
no,
new
as the
game.
kids say, no
But don't
cap
just
on the change that could take place.
Right. Right. And that just speaks to being deliberate with our diversity, inclusion, equity practices.
I can watch any
Corporations
other channel
really
if I
have
want to
take
hear
that
them talking.
accountability
This
and,
is
like
a
you said, do
gaming
what's right
expo.
in that spectrum, in that conversation, looking at value from different sources and kind of recalibrating our minds to that. But like you guys have said, it takes time. It takes starting earlier in the pipeline. I love that you just call that out. What other things can corporations do that are just different than what we've been doing in the past, perhaps? What would you recommend?
I would even add to what Gordon just said. The looking at this challenge as a business challenge is key. That's what between the inspiration of the social justice marches from last summer and really talking to our chair Danny Bilson, who said
Nice.
that, hey, if you were going to tackle this issue, this giant generational issue,
I am
as a
just
business
I'm at
problem,
work,
what would
so
you do? And
yeah.
that flipped the light switch on for me. Well, of course, like any business problem, what are my challenges? I've got gaps in my supply chain, if you will. So how do I fill those gaps in my supply chain? And really working your way backwards in a way where you're putting
it's like I want to go back to the
objectives,
previous thing that they
strategies, and
showed, but
tactics
even
in
the
place
the
to
stuff that they
achieve those
showed
goals from a
in
business
television,
perspective, you're going to see
that's
outcomes
feel like a
not
new
just,
product
hey,
they
here's
could
a
have brought
check and
out
good luck with
in
charity X. It's gonna be
2000
more of,
or
okay,
in the
here's a check.
mid
This is
late
what we're hoping to see.
1990s.
Let's measure along the way and
Which,
see if we're
if
seeing
you want that
progress
game,
on
we would
that.
have
And
asked
it's the
for it. But
measuring
it's
of
like
progress and
this—that's
adjusting
a
in real time
console.
based on the
Hold
data
on,
that
I'm
you're
gonna pause
getting back.
this. Now let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all the console that in television is showing. Let me see if I can go back to it. Like for real. 1024.
I can take my controller.
That this console would have been great in the late 80s or mid to late 90s. This would be great for everyone to play. Like even early 2000s, this would be a great console type thing to play. But they're like 20 years late, like a little over 20 years too late to bring out this type of thing right here.
I can go over your house, dock it in your system, and because it
even though it got good, various classic games on it, but it's like we have classic Nintendo and everything of the sort. It's like, why present that? It's a good concept and everything, but it's like you should have shown that like 20 years ago.
People that are doing good, and these are people
And they
that
still
are self-serving, but it doesn't work like that. We have to work together, and everyone does kind of go.
It almost been 30 minutes, and they still chattering.
You know, so
they could have presented a whole bunch of games.
Codependency. We are all community members in this pipeline.
It's like we want us to. You just want to say, "Shut up and present the games."
How we tackle this problem. Before we end this conversation, there's tons of questions that we have that we want to ask you. So I'm going to pause right now and give our esteemed questionnaires a chance to ask their questions that are top of mind related to our conversation today.
It's like they could have done this on a different video.
With some questions from our other video game industry experts here. We've got Carrie. She's an executive.
Like they should have put this on a different type of station, different type of channel. This is a gaming expo.
And Near, he's the head
Show the
mobile for
games.
Take-Two. So go ahead and fire it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony. The first question is for Layla, but certainly open to...
Like they could chose a different platform to talk all about this. This is about gaming and present the brand new games. Like Take-Two is the only... I should make a video about this.
What is your
Take-Two Interactive is basically pissing me off.
Women that are interested in taking a similar path to where you are today?
Thank you, Juanetta. I don't think I really envisioned being in a male-dominated industry, although I did envision being in a male-dominated world, because I grew up in the Middle East and I was painfully aware of being a girl, and how my life was going to turn out to be different from my male peers or my brothers or my cousins.
I get it. I understand what they're saying. Oh, it's tough to be a female that's a gamer or a gay person that also loves video games and this and that and the other. But the thing is, with all due respect, I don't, in this type of platform where they're presenting nothing but games, and everything about games, I basically don't care. We're here for the games.
Honestly, not think about your gender when you think about what you want to pursue, because it's all about you specifically.
You can call me on Discord.
You might end up liking things that people, even your age, your geographic location, your
I don't mind you
educational
talk to me
background, or
on Discord.
Your family might not have heard of or even thought of, and that is all the things that I ended up doing were things that didn't match anything that I had seen in my own environment.
This is like the wrong place at the wrong time. That they actually would want to present this.
Hearing. I think you have to kind of develop selective hearing.
Wrong place, wrong time.
That care about you, that love you, and encourage.
Like, is it going to be a new Red Dead Redemption? Are we going to have GTA 6? Are we going to have 2K? That's what we worried about.
Things because it's never been done, or that's not how it is. Or
Hello?
That's not how the world works. The way the world works is based on the world that we build.
Hello?
And we're continually building a new world. So it doesn't matter how things are done now. They're going to be done a different way as you grow up, and you can be part of building that world.
Let me mute this.
Those are.
Oh, I was gonna, I was gonna mute. Hello? Oh, I think it's something wrong with my mic. Give me a second. I mean, not my mic, but my the sound. Give me a second. Okay, there you go. What's up?
Hi.
Yeah, this is starting to piss me off.
Oh, they dead ass wasting time.
Take-Two Interactive. I want to know more about more information.
This is like in less than like it's been about 30 fucking minutes they've been doing this, bro. Shut the fuck up and start talking about the games.
It's like you go on a commercial break and all of a sudden they're talking about the issues and everything about their.
I get it. There's some issues about people being discriminated all because they're gay or female or whatever the fuck. But bro,
it's like we don't care.
Okay, for me personally, I can respect people for that.
And see,
shit.
they said we do not care in the comments inside of the freaking stream. It's
yeah, cause bro, I'm like, with all due fucking respect, I'm not against anyone. Like, just fucking talk about games. Shit, that's all I can really ask for.
It's like it make me want to dislike it right now, and we even got to Capcom.
Not even like, hold on. So my question is, have they not even like showcased any games on like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, any shit? Have they showcased any?
Let's see. Nintendo's coming tomorrow.
Well, yeah, Nintendo's coming tomorrow. But I'm just saying here, like, have they showcased any games
For Take-Two Interactive? No.
Bro, this is disappointing.
I started the stream for Take-Two Interactive because I'm thinking they're gonna bring out a teaser for GTA 6 or a teaser of possibly a new Red Dead Redemption that might come in 2022, or any other sorts of different type of games that they're working on, even golf or an arcade football game that they've been talking about for.
Anything. Just fucking shut the hell up about situations like this. It can be taken somewhere else.
I know, it's like we do not care.
Like, with all respect, you can be you. But we're talking about games here. So, like, get the show on the road, buddy.
Yeah, everyone gets bullied. Everyone has their own struggles. Everyone has their discriminations. But this is not the right time or the right place.
To fucking do it.
Know what? If I'm disliking it. I'm clicking a dislike. F it.
I'm sorry, Nukes, but I had to fucking click off your damn stream because I cannot.
I muted.
Bro.
I muted the stream.
Bro, I cannot with that.
I understand. You click it off.
I'll have to admit, I have not been to any gaming conventions or any shit like that.
And I will tell you this. I
But
watch a lot of gaming expos at game conventions, and none of them was like this. None of them was like this for presenting games or anything like that.
even for someone like me who has little knowledge of gamings and shit like that, I still at least expect people to showcase games if they're going to be talking about games, you know?
Yeah, but this is the first I could say that this is complete and other shit. They could have done this at a different place at a different time, but this is E3, a gaming expo about presenting games and future games that we will
And
like to enjoy.
these people call themselves professionals or some shit.
Yeah, and plus they show a whole lot of independent professionals.
Bro,
But this
professional my fucking ass.
this will make people walk away.
Exactly. Like, I'm not kidding you. I was so fucking bored of them talking. I literally almost started falling asleep again.
Just like I said, we respect women, we respect homosexual, we even awareness of
People overall.
yeah, it just why push it out there? It's something that's is not the right time to do.
Exactly. God. Like, fuck. I could be dealing with Adam's bullshit right about now.
Oh my
instead of this.
god. I gotta write this note down for my work.
Okay, hold on, Nukes. I will be right back. My friends are calling, but I'll be sure to invite you into the chat.
Alright. Let me see if I got everything right. Let me see. I got everything checked out. Okay, I'm good. But what the fuck?
Streaming the people on a Zoom that we're gonna be talking about and introducing them to games and shit, right? And, bro, from what you said is that for the past 30 minutes
They've been doing nothing but talking about discrimination when it comes to
like, bro, with all respect, like, I can respect people, but now's not the right fucking time.
it's about video games and upcoming games or games that are about to be released at E3, not having a freaking convention about.
There's how many fucking trailers for their upcoming games. Like, dude.
Oh my god, I'm gonna scream. Dang it, man.
Like,
I'm not a good crash on me earlier. I'm sorry.
Shoot, I already dislike because like nobody cares about this. There's at this time of gaming and people should celebrate video games, no one cares about the awareness of bullying anything. It's not like we don't care initially.
It should just be let go. Just vibe. God.
There's a place and a time for bullying and awareness. This is a time for celebrating video games and upcoming games that we will enjoy.
Hell yeah, and get get people hyped up and vibe with each other. That's how you really like start to fucking, I don't know.
That's how you get the ball rolling.
To everyone's like hit the dislike.
Wait, what the heck is this? What the hell did you send me? Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Oh.
I said the same thing. I said the same thing. I said,
I'm sorry, it took a second for me to process. I'm like, I'm just gonna get wrong with this. I'm like, oh god, I'm like Mario.
No.
And then I'm like, Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. And I'm like, wait a minute. I said, ooh, I know like that. That's not good.
Nah, because, like, I already messaged a few of my friends about it. Like, I messaged it on here. I messaged Orga, my babe. I also messaged it to a Discord server friend.
Nah, that's horrifying. Don't even play like that.
Like, oh my god. And they still talking. That's the worst part. I muted the whole stream.
Minutes now.
Wait, hold up. Scarlett, are you bi?
I'm pansexual.
Okay. Then I wonder if you know this. Welcome to the internet.
I think I know what you're fucking saying right there, buddy.
Hold up. I got it, because I remembered every lyric, and it's bad. I'm not gay. My girlfriend's bi, so I guess that rubbed off with me a little bit, but I got this.
Hold on. I think I can find it on TikTok, because I think someone in TikTok did that.
Welcome to the internet. What would you prefer? Would you like to fight for civil rights or tweet a racial slur?
Yes, I know.
Yeah. See a man beheaded, get offended, see a shrink, tell us pictures of your children, tell us every thought you think. Buy a rumor, start a rumor, send a death to a boomer, or DM a girl and groomer, start a zoomer, find a tumor in your. Here's a healthy breakfast option, you should kill your mom. Here's why women never love you, here's how you can build a
Yeah,
bomb.
we had to mention I'm still streaming.
What?
I'm still streaming.
He's streaming on his YouTube channel.
And Twitch.
Hey. I'm gonna stop Subnautica for a second, just because I've lost that progress and I'm kind of mad about it. But
Sure, only thing I'm mad about right now is this stream.
Only thing I'm mad about is, and I quote, niggas.
Cause I'm for real. Like, why are they still talking? It's been 50. Actually, been 40 minutes of them just straight up talking.
Bro, I'm pretty sure by now anyone who is seeing that stream is gonna fucking click off.
You just need to podcast at that point. Alright, Scarlett, watch me practice Woody, because I need finger practice.
This is the only biggest letdown.
Just watch.
Wait, hold on, pardon?
I said I need finger practice, and that's not entirely incorrect, but I feel like I could have phrased that better. Speak of the devil, look who's texting me.
Okay, we still muted, and yet they still talking.
Oh, no. Why? Why?
No, I just normal one.
Why is that?
Let me see what they're saying.
Sorry, on my phone for a second.
Objectives and rewarding that partner or those partners for that investment and for that support. That's really key to building a positive feedback loop around investing in diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay, I gotta put my phone down.
Yeah, what Jim said, but I'd still say make it mobile. God,
All right,
if you can move that needle like
this.
0.2%, anything, you can't get cut. You can't get cut then, right? There's no way, no thing budget's tight when you're moving that needle 0.2%, right?
Yeah, the scale at which we all operate, it's pretty staggering when you think about it. When you aggregate how much revenue and profit goes and gross profit goes in the games business, for a meaningful moving of the needle of DEI, comparatively speaking, it's not a huge amount of money. It's to have a really big demonstrable impact, measurable impact. If we aggregate our dollars and really focus on some key objectives, we can really move the needle in a way that's going to, frankly, when you start seeing things work, people get excited. It worked. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep doing it. And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's why the Lost and Fun is what it is. It's an endowment because you want to see and have an impact in the aggregate
I'm
over
telling you
time, over
right now,
generations, and
nukes,
support students for decades to
Nintendo,
come.
Xbox, and
Not just
fucking
have it be
PlayStation
this
are
fiscal year.
already
What can we do?
releasing game trailers. Like, bro, these people are doing better than these fucking professional head asses.
It Take Two is the one that do 2K and then not have nothing for gaming, but talking. Not even a freaking countdown to Take Two. It's just this. He said, you know what, we don't have no games to fully present, so you know what? How about this? You group of guys, how about y'all take over and y'all talk about whatever. Y'all do whatever. Go. Just go.
I feel so sad. Because my friend won't get off the phone with his girlfriend. And I don't say that in a mean way. But it's like... Well, yeah, but like, I don't care that he does. No, I don't care if he talks to his girlfriend. I care because, like, he'll be like, oh, she wants me all to herself. I gotta go. And, well, let me finish before you say anything. And while that might sound a little bit extra or rude to say, it's not because of that purely, but it's because of the fact that, like, it's not like every once in a while it's just like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm gonna get my girlfriend. All my attention right now. No, it's like, yeah, dang. I'm gonna talk to her for the next 5 hours. I'll catch y'all 8 hours from now.
What is that?
I don't know. That's whatever. I'm being childish about it. I don't care. Because I used to do the same thing with my ex, but my ex was toxic, so. This is why I'm not saying anything to him directly, because I know he'd be like, I know you're not talking. You do the same thing.
Bro, these fucking challenges are getting easier for me.
I used to be able to do Joker's voice. That's one of the few voices I'm really sad that I lost. I know, it sounds weird. Let me explain. Because Joker's voice was one of the more interesting ones. It had a bit of roughness to it. Like, okay, let me put it like this.
Oh,
You know Toad from Mario?
I'm looking at something else.
Toad's voice is literally just all scratchy. It's like someone stole someone else's throat. Mickey Mouse's is just a slightly higher pitch with weird pronunciations. Venom's is just lowering your octaves, but it's like a wet low octave. I don't know. It's just different voices have different needs to actually reach them, and I appreciate it because it's fun to do. Woo! Someone's gonna die. Ain't gonna be me. Scar, what you doing? You having a good time?
Just trying to pass the time by playing video games, honestly.
Nice. Don't stop me now. Don't stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. No. Okay.
I'm just gonna...
You've heard of Mice and Men, but now of... Yeah, you've heard of Mice and Men, but now of lesbians and labias. Alright, now peep this. I'm about to go put someone on a cross.
Okay.
Is that who I think it is? Yes! My favorite person!
That was it?
Wait, what?
That was all of it.
Is that all they really talked about?
Dude, absolutely League of Legends.
That was it!
It's been like a decade since release, and it's still just at the top of the charts.
What the
That's
fuck?
where I go with all my friends and hang out. It's my go-to.
That was the first female I actually ever seen play video games. It's my mother, and she loved.
That's the worst thing that could ever.
And we would all play. Me, my brother, my mother, and my dad, and we would just.
That was
these nuts.
That was the biggest letdown ever. That was the biggest letdown.
So anyway, buddy, Carlos, you want to see my base?
Sure.
All right, but I'm turning off Apex then, man. Screw Apex. Apex don't mean nothing to me right now.
So, that was a catastrophe. No, now we found something that's completely worse than Ubisoft.
I used to pull out the Glock and now whenever ladies don't see me, they know that I skeet like Slyakovich.
Well, I can end this stream with a letdown, unless we have more.
Hold on, I'm about to find out because I might as well do this now.
So today they have Mythical Games, Indie Spotlight, Freedom Games, Capcom, which I'm looking forward to.
Ooh, nice.
And Razer. But that was the biggest letdown I've ever seen in my life. And in 6 minutes, gonna be another event.
It said Poggers. Why did she say ooh like that? She said ooh, Poggers.
Nah, because I already got 4 kills in this
Okay.
fucking game.
I'm going to continue my work. I will be right back and do a stream later on today.
I hope to God it's a fucking better stream than that shit, honestly.
Shoot, one person already said this is worse than Ubisoft. I could not say it much better myself.